Welcome to KGXT, Gen X Talks podcast, live from Central California.
Making plans with the boys. I'm gonna hit the town. Yeah, I'm gonna make some noise. I'll push past the pain and my wounded pride.
Dom.
Don't tell me what to do with my phone.
Stay off your fucking phone.
You hadn't. Didn't even start yet.
You do it during the whole show. You do it during the show. You look down at your phone.
Because you know what? I'm engaging with people.
No, there's no one to engage with.
Yes, there is.
All you're supposed to do is be the star of the show.
3, 4, 5.
Stay off your phone
6,
during the show.
7.
That's all I'm saying.
8.
God damn it.
9.
You feel better?
10.
Good. You count to 10? Good. You feel better now? I'm glad you do.
Start the podcast.
Welcome to the Gen X Talks podcast.
Yep. Good job. Way to go.
That was my max headroom.
Try to go again. Oh my gosh.
Welcome to the Gen X Talks podcast, broadcasting from the KGXT studios 200 feet below occupied California. See how that is? And I didn't look at my phone the entire time. Notice how I did that? That's good. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because you are annoying me already. We haven't even started. We haven't even talked. I haven't talked to you all morning.
No.
We haven't had a discussion.
No, we haven't.
Except you made a comment about me getting dressed this morning. When I wake up in the morning, that was the only thing we exchanged.
And I said, it was nice, wasn't it?
It was nice.
I said, I don't like you. And you said, why? I said, because you wake up looking like you're 30 years old and in great shape and beautiful. And I wake up looking like I'm 60, but I feel like I'm 90. I said, I don't like you anymore. I did say that this morning.
You did. Yeah, you did. But I had been up an hour, so all my aches and pains were already worked out.
You already loosened up the joints you were going. You already had a shot of whiskey to start your day. All right.
So, hey, I think you're becoming famous. You were on the Chris Cuomo show on Newsmax.
Yeah.
What was it? Right before Trump's speech, which was Tuesday?
When Chris
You
called,
were shocked when I said that.
Well, when Chris called and he said, I want you to go on tonight and tomorrow or tonight or tomorrow, I said, okay, I'll be ready. It messed up our Bottom of Glass Nation show, but I said, yeah, I'll wait.
And I said to you, I texted, I go, wait a second, you're going on before Trump's speech?
That's what I said. I said, no, I'm sure he's not going to do that. He'll probably just have something on his filler on Newsmax during the show. I said, no one's going to watch what we're talking about. And then, when you confirmed, when Nora confirmed the time, you said, no, that's like the lead-in to Trump. And I was like, really? So I thought that was something. But so anybody that watches Newsmax, and their audience is still growing, of course. I don't know how many millions they have on there, but if anyone who, some people, you watch Trump's thing on Fox or on CNN or ABC News, you tune in a few minutes before and you kind of watch the whole thing unfold. So whatever Fox News is talking about before the speech start, you watch it because you're sitting down, you're ready to go. That was why I thought it was so cool that Chris and I had the lead into that on Newsmax.
What section were you in? Were you like right before,
as soon as we were done, it went almost right after that to Trump walking in.
So you were like the lead in.
It was the lead in. Yeah, it was kind of cool. So that worked out pretty well.
So I heard he called you Mike.
Yeah.
which is funny because you don't look like a Mike.
No, but it was funny because afterwards we talked about that kind of stuff. He's like, God, he corrected it.
Oh, he did on the air. He
right
corrected
away.
it.
He goes. I've known Mark Mendenhall for a while now, and he did correct it. But he was. I told him, well, you're just nervous. Yeah, it's okay. I understand.
It's your first time.
Your first time. Well, I was going to call if he hadn't corrected. I was going to call him Craig. When he said Mike, I was going to go, it's all right. Thanks for having me on, Craig. And he'd go, it's Chris. And I'd say, well, it's really Mark too. I thought we were. That's what I was going to say, Al. I had it ready, but he corrected it.
That would be funny. That would be funny on the air.
Yeah, it would have been. It would have panned out.
Because it's live, right?
Yeah, it's live.
He can't go back and correct it.
No.
Oh, that's funny.
It was live. He did it. He had us on live. Yeah.
That would be funny.
So it was good. There was some stuff on there, but
I haven't seen it. I can't tell you. I haven't seen it yet.
I finally got the edit on it. I haven't seen it. I don't want to watch it.
Well, can I watch it?
No. I don't want. I haven't posted it. I haven't shared. I didn't even send it to my mom.
Why do you feel that? Why won't you watch it?
I think well, okay, the first time we were on, it was really funny. It was great. The second time, I was intentionally reserved, and I didn't say as much. And Chris he goes, Chris, we talked afterwards. Chris goes, yeah, it's pretty cool, but you didn't punch at all. And I went, yeah, I probably should. Because I had some stuff to say, and I didn't say it. I just I played the middle of the road a little bit.
What do you want, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
Not even that, like 5 to 8.
Wow.
But I think those are going to grow now. Because this one, I just punched the whole time. He goes, Chris says, well, what do you think Trump should say? I said, if he's going to this is in my own brain. I haven't heard anybody say this, so I'm not stealing it from anybody. But I go, if Trump's going to be honest and get out there, he needs to just tell everybody this is going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
Go back and quote every 80s movie I've ever seen about the comeback, the turnaround, any story. Always, it's going to get worse before it gets better. I already know it. I know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And Chris said something, and I gave him a story about an aircraft carrier. I said, aircraft carrier is going full speed. Trump says, as soon as I take over, I'm going to turn that aircraft carrier around. All right. Well, as soon as Trump takes over, people say the Democrats are all, aircraft carrier still going straight ahead. Yeah. It takes a little while to turn that aircraft carrier around. You're going to go straight ahead. You're going to be going forward still for quite a bit. Aircraft carriers don't turn on a dime.
Yeah.
That was my story. Is that you come see Trump in 18 months and then tell me how he's doing. Don't pick him apart every 10 minutes.
Yeah, I remember doctors growing up and getting like antibiotics because you're so sick, and they would say, you know what, you're going to get worse before it gets better, before it kicks in, before the antibiotics, before it gets fixed.
Yeah,
just like this,
yeah,
it's going to take a little bit.
And all I told him was that I said that's what needs to be said.
Yeah,
and Trump, in the speech, and I'm sure it had nothing to do with me, but Trump said, well, it's going to be a little bit of a rocky time in the beginning. Not much of a rocky time, just a little bit of rocky time, just a little bit. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's going to suck. And I know it's going to suck. And I don't know. I haven't
Did you get a message out that you wanted with Chris? Like, did you get what you wanted to say there?
Yeah, I did. But I don't think that I gave him enough chance to be the host. But he hosts all day. I get 5 minutes. Fuck it, it's my 5 minutes.
That's why I'm saying you don't have a whole lot of time to do a rebuttal on anything.
Well, we didn't have a lot of time to go back and forth. What I'd like him to do,
I sure would like to see you guys debate.
Well, that's where I'm going with this. The last time we talked on the phone a couple weeks back, we talked about going on his podcast. Now that's not live.
Ooh.
That's recorded, but so he can edit it. But the dumb mechanic in the middle of the desert, which I did get to say twice, by the way. I think there are some basics because Chris has told me, he says, well, I'll come after you. You mess with the bull, you're gonna get the horns. I said, well, go ahead.
Right.
But we don't have time to do that
No.
on Newsmax in a short segment. I think if we did what I told him, and we didn't get a chance to talk a lot because Trump's speech was on, but we talked the next day a little bit too. I want to do I want to do one of his shows like he did, where I'm on it as the hoodie, like how Adam Sandler went to the Oscars. Everyone's dressed nice, and I'll wear my gear. And I'd like to go back on with Stephen A. Smith.
Oh man,
because he's moving into. I probably couldn't talk to him about sports at all. I don't even know 1/100th of what he knows, but he definitely was missing the mark on tariffs and some other things. I'm like. Because he was quoting things on how things work, and I want to be like, well, that's not how they work at street level. That's not how you're just assuming things and you're saying stuff. And I told Chris, I go, put me on with that motherfucker. Let me straight. He goes, are you sure you want to do that? Because he's dynamite. I said, yes, I do.
Oh my goodness, you want that challenge?
That is not. Stephen A. Smith is not a challenge when it comes to politics.
Okay.
I've listened to him talk sports. Yeah, he'd kill me. He just he's too brilliant of a guy, but he's just getting into politics. He's
Why is he? Is there a reason? Because I noticed that too. Well, people were asking if he was going to run.
Yeah.
But he said no. I mean, he keeps saying no.
Every politician says no. Every politician says no until they say yes. But I think he's building momentum to be part of something. Maybe he wouldn't run for president, but I think if he stays on this trajectory, wouldn't he? Maybe he could be part of a cabinet. Maybe he could do something in a Democrat administration. I don't know. But I don't agree with a lot of what he says, and I have very simple words to counter all the stuff he's saying. And I told Chris, I said, look, put him on. I'm not going to, but let's not go live then. Don't do it live. Let's do a podcast where you can edit it, where you can, change stuff around. Well, we're still talking about that. That's what I want to get into with Chris. Chris Cuomo, he still is more left than he is right. But if you actually listen to some of his podcast stuff, I am amazed at how clearly he thinks of some of these things. It is absolutely, it's nothing.
So you think he's a really smart guy? He's not arrogant he's
not like he was arrogant. I think when he got fired, he got his dick knocked in the dirt. I think it was a humbling experience. And instead of caving, some guys cave and crumble and he didn't. He came back up and he reinvented himself as like, okay, I'm going to be fair about everything I look at. If the Democrats are fucking it up, I'm going to say so. If the Republicans are going to fuck it up, I'm going to say so.
But do you think it's because of the platform he's on? He's kind of like on his own platform now. He's not technically working for anybody.
No, he works for Newsmax on Newsmax, but his Chris Cuomo project, it's all his.
So he could say whatever he wants now. But when he worked for a network...
No, but still, then stand up to your network and say something. Don't punk out like a bitch. Don't bow to them. You got to say something. And so I think now and I hate saying, well, he's a much better person, because that makes it sound like he was a worse person before. And I know conservatives would hate his guts. But I'm telling you, when you listen to him, he's still left. He still leans heavily left. But man, there's a lot of stuff he questions people on, and he challenges. He even we were on the phone one time. He told me, he goes, I have lost a lot of friends because of how I speak now. I go, good for you. Good. Then that means you're on the right path. He goes, that's what I think too.
But it's also, he's a Gen Xer.
Yeah.
He's from the era where a Democrat and a Republican, whether you're right or left, could sit down and have a conversation. You and him sit down and both respect each other.
Oh, yeah.
But can sit down and listen to both views. And that's what I like when you go on a show.
Yeah.
And even when you guys talk when you're not on the show, you guys have it out or you discuss things. But it's not like I'm never going to talk to you again kind of thing.
It's exactly, I think it's exactly what everybody, I think everybody needs to hear it, but I think Chris is very close. If I could just convince him that this is a thing, for him to be a moderator and put someone in a nice suit and a leftist on a show with me in the hoodie and go, listen, I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm not going to be disrespectful.
You're the working man.
Right. I think if I could convince him that should be a 20-minute segment in different places, I think we could do it often.
I could see that.
That's what you're bored. But yes, I do respect Chris. I do not agree with a lot of what he says. But there's been a few times that he's opened my eyes to some stuff, and I was, holy shit, I didn't really think about that.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
And I hope you've done that to him.
I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know.
Okay,
but he likes me enough to have me back, so I guess that's
all right. Well, something weird. I got to ask you, have you been diving into the Gene Hackman? Because you know what? It kind of like fizzled out.
Well, it's just the only thing that was weird to me about the Hackman story, and I guess this is still just an unanswered question. And obviously, everyone would like to know what happened.
Well, yeah.
That's the big thing. But why they say now it was like 11 days they've got it figured out that they were dead. Uh-huh. You telling me his kids didn't know? Now, if they weren't close enough to drive over, I get that. Maybe they weren't. But how long, when your mother was alive, how long did you go 11 days without talking
I called
to
my
her?
mom I thought of this too. I called my mom every day when I knew she was by herself or I knew that how old she was. I called her every day, whether it was 5 minutes or 30 minutes, and go, hey, are you okay?
Well, and I do the same with your brother, the Sun Valley Fox. I mean, I know he's married to Donna, but he's old. So I call him and say, you okay, buddy? Just checking in every day. Just got to make sure he's, the other day I called and St. Donna's so funny. She didn't know where he was. She answered his phone. I called your brother's phone.
He never carries his phone with him.
I called your brother's phone. She answered it, and she goes, let me go see if I can find him. She goes, in the garage? Nothing. She walks through the house? Nothing. She goes, hang on. I know how to get him up here. And I said,
it is hilarious. This is so funny.
This is a true story.
This is so funny.
She leans out the back patio slider, and she rings a bell.
She rings a bell.
Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 and he comes running like the dog.
Like a dog, he's conditioned.
No, the dog comes running too. Zelly comes running like, hey, Mama, what's up? We just got to wait for the husband to come up. And this time he didn't.
Oh, that's kind of scary.
Then I was like, you want to call me back? And then you said he's probably across the street talking to Mike. that ex-cop who we butt heads all the time
It's hilarious. That is so funny.
Mike's a good guy.
You need to put him on the podcast.
He'd be fun to have on there.
He'd be
too.
fun.
And I guess he finally turned up. Now I don't exactly know where he was because the vehicles were all home, but she made light of it and said, "Oh, I found him wandering down 395. I pulled him in the truck and we came home, but I don't know where he was." But yeah, I do talk to him often.
And how often do you talk to your mom? You call her like every couple days or so just to check in, even though your dad's still there.
And we got my dad. I got two brothers up there. If something was wrong, they'd call me immediately. It's not like it's not like your mother who was alone.
But going back to Gene Hackman, the same thing. Why was there's
no kids that said, "Hey, go check on him"?
Yeah, we haven't heard from him in a while.
I mean, even in 3 days, I'd call the cops and go, "My parents aren't answering the phone." That's just.
It's kind of weird.
That's all. That's my only thought on that.
It's a little weird.
Speaking of your brother in the Sun Valley Fox, we were going to do that big barbecue this summer where we did the cook-off.
Oh yeah, the
between
steak thing,
Chef John, a trained professional, wonderful chef. Chef John's a part of the program, and Little Miss Hot and Nerdy, Christine Matlock, who I say that because she dresses like Adam Sandler characters all the time.
She does.
She's hot, dude. She's smoking hot, and she dresses as nerdy as Adam. She's probably wearing that blue hoodie right now, walking around Reno in the blue hoodie from the Oscars. That's exactly what she would do.
There's nothing wrong with that. I love Adam Sandler too. I think it's great that he goes into these things like wearing what he wants to wear. I bet you he was the most comfortable out of everybody.
I'm sure he was. So Little Miss Hot and Nerdy and Chef John are going to have a cook-off, and it's kind of growing now. There's going to be more and more people. And Sun Valley Fox offered to do it at his place, and he's got a good deck and a good yard. If we pick a nice day, we could put tables and chairs out there and make it work. So I thought, because Christine had said we could do it at her house.
Right.
Now, I've never been to her house, so I thought, well, I'll Google map it and just see if they have a yard and a deck, and you can see some stuff.
Wow, you went spying on her.
I just went to Google Maps.
Wait till she hears that.
And guess what? Her house is blurred out.
Why would it be blurred out?
Privacy.
You can do that?
I guess. I didn't know you could do that. So the house next to her, you can see. If you go to Google Street View, the house next to her, you can see. The house on the other side, you can see. I can Google map it from on top, and I can see the backyard. I thought, okay, they got a deck, and they got a yard. They got some grass. They'd have an area, too. But the front of the house is blurred out for some reason.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah. So I just went over to Zillow. Zillow, not only did Zillow have the front view of the house on their street
you're like
view,
the CIA.
but it also had, when they sold the house years ago, all the pictures of inside the rooms and outside, and better pictures of the backyard. So.
I'm sorry, Christine, if you're listening. I apologize for my husband right now. Snooping and pooping here.
I wanted to
that's
see
just
what's going on.
Guy.
It's not creepy. I wasn't trying to look in her window.
Now I know where our daughter gets it from. She's like, if I bring up something, she goes, hold on. And then 5 seconds later, she goes, lives at this address, this one school. She gets all this information. Now I know where she gets it from.
Well, I wasn't trying to look in her window. I was trying to see her backyard. And so
you lie.
Either way would be well. Although your brother's probably is a little bit better because of the elevation and the room, except it's further out. Minden's a lot further than Reno. Not that it matters. People could probably still go there. But either way, I was just looking to see what that is. And
well, we'll have to make a decision. I don't think we're going to look at that until we actually get up there.
These things are, I'm always out in front. They're on my mind. Like, how do we put the pieces together? Like every time we do something like this, we end up shouldering most of the expense.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be nice to get a butcher shop up there in Reno to say, hey, we'll give you the stuff, just talk about us?
There is a butcher shop in Minden. I already found one.
If we can go to these people and say, look, this is what we do, and if you could donate some steaks and stuff, you can not only can you come to the event, but we could talk about you. We could talk about you the whole time. We'll put your little logo on the thing. I mean, I don't mind sponsoring a thing if they're going to help us get there, because every time we do something, we end up shouldering the bulk of it, and it's tough sometimes.
We don't have people.
We need people.
we don't have a team of people to do this sort of thing.
Social media, it's a tough gig.
It is. Well, it depends on if you want the control yourself, or do you want to start releasing the control?
Well, you can still. Do you want
it to have a business with employees?
I don't mind releasing. It's not even releasing control. I just want some help. That's all. That's all I'm asking for. There's a lot of people out there with money and resources that could do some stuff and write it off as advertising or promotional.
Oh,
I
for
just,
sure.
I just haven't reached out to them yet.
Yeah. So I have, I want to read you something.
Okay.
And you give me some feedback.
All right.
So I was reading something today that said perfectionism ruins more YouTube careers than poor content ever will.
Speaking of social media, we're going right into it. Okay.
Your worst video might be your breakthrough. Waiting for perfect keeps you invisible. The algorithm rewards those who publish, not those who hesitate. What do you think about that?
Read the first quote again, the first line.
The first line is perfectionism ruins more YouTube careers than poor content ever will.
Yeah. I would agree with that statement in general. Yeah. I mean, you can pick apart every statement and find examples. Oh, it's not true. My brother Bob, it's in general, I would say now that I've listened and learned for 4 years plus with Briggs on this, because in the beginning, every video he put up, he would sit there on his phone at 15 years old and count the views, and he'd figure out
Yes,
how
he
many
did.
views per minute, how many views per second. I mean, he just lived and died. Dad, that video yesterday didn't
The
do very well.
details,
We got to do another one. And he's always shooting for these home runs. And he's always trying to find content. He's always trying to find a topic, and that will kill you. That's like watching anybody who's ever been in the stock market will tell you, don't watch the stock market. Don't wake up every morning and did your stock go up or down. Don't read that ticker that goes across the bottom of Fox Business
It'd be
News.
stressful.
It's stressful. Yeah,
It'd
all
be
the
very
time.
stressful.
Oh, my stock's going down. I got to sell. My stock's going up. I got to buy. And you can't. And that's the people who are experiencing the stock market will tell you that ticker that runs across there showing all the stocks moment by moment, that's porn. That is just stock market porn is what they call it, and it'll kill you. And that's what we learned on social media is the view count and things will kill you. Watching every minute of everything you do. Not that you're not supposed to pay attention to the details, you are. But you watch the trends, like with what you're doing is more than anything. Going for perfection, you can't say, okay, I need to put out some perfect content here, and you stress about it all day. You know what? Off the cuff. Get an idea that's funny, refine it, and go for it. That's it. Off the cuff. Just like when you're writing a Saturday Night Live skit, you ever listen to those guys talk about the writer's room, and they write stuff, and they're like, that's funny. And then they say it out loud a few times, revise it, go, that's pretty funny. And they ad-lib some of it when they do it too.
Yeah.
And if you're on social media and all you're doing is living and dying by those views, you will have a heart attack. You got to just go with the flow. And when your views for, and this is a big one, is that over time, I've looked at some of the content creators that were equal with Briggs, let's say 3 years ago. And I go to their content site and like, wow, they were getting 300,000 views, 200,000 views. Now they're down to between 20 and 50, 20 and 50, 20 and 50, and they've kind of stabilized there. So is Briggs. A lot of his content is between 20 and 50. He gets strong ones in 300,000 views. Sometimes they'll hit 1 million on a home run, but he's 20, 50, 20, 50, 20, 50, 20, 50, those thousands of views per video, per episode, per thing he does.
That's pretty consistent, I'd say.
It's fine because I can't even count the millions of people that would kill to have 5,000 views.
Exactly.
3,000 views. They just there's channels out there by the millions all over the planet that can't get 2,000 views, and they've put up 400 videos. So, you settle into like a blue chip stock situation that steadily grows. You've got ups and downs, but over the course of a year, you're up a little bit every year. That's what Gen X Talks has become.
Yeah.
Our podcast grows a little bit, and we'll go 3 or 4 months where there's a little bit of a recession in numbers. Then you go 3 or 4 months where there's a surge. Who cares? You don't even try it anymore. Just do what you're going to do.
You just keep going.
You just keep going with it, and you talk about stuff that's entertaining and funny. But that statement you said, perfection, and it's not, yes, attention to detail. Go ahead. If you're going to make a video and Briggs says, I'm going to edit this video, I'm going to put in some graphics, I'm going to put in some sound effects, and I'm going to take my time and they're going to be perfect, go ahead. Do the best job you can with the video. But if all you're doing is trying to perfect each video so that you can get 1 million views and hit a home run, you're never going to get it. And if you do, you're never going to get it again. I'd say when we went to VidCon and we talked to those people down at VidCon, and there's thousands of creators down there, and when you sit out there and on a bench and you got a Coke and you're talking with them, and they'll tell you that they hit a home run early on in their careers. They had some video that went viral, and then they could never replicate it again. They could never capture it again. They spent the next 2 or 3 years trying to recapture that moment, and they just couldn't do it.
You want to know what the kid's doing now? He'll come in the house and he goes, I got a great idea. I'm going to do this for Dad. And I'm like, what? And he'll run it by me, and he'll see if I chuckle or laugh or whatever. And I'm like, okay, or good luck with that one.
You know what was funny for the first year? This is true. This is an absolute true story. For the first year that he was on TikTok only, before he did anything anywhere else, he would record an ambush video, and he would show it to you.
Yes.
And then you would say if you liked it or didn't like it.
Right.
And you were honest about it. The kid would come to me and go, we're good. Mom hates it. I go, what? He goes, whatever. Because every video that you didn't like
it did well.
Really well on TikTok. Every one that you go, well, that was funny, failed. He'd come out to the garage and go, hey, that ambush video? Yeah, it's not going to do well tomorrow. Why not? Mom loved it.
Oh, my God.
It's true. He wasn't wrong. Every video that in the first year or so, yeah, you were a perfect barometer for how those videos were going to go.
Oh, my gosh. That's funny.
So we walk around now. It's like, let's
go take it to Mom.
Here's his idea. Come on, tell us you hate it.
Oh,
tell
my
us you don't like it.
Fine, I'm going to tell him, nope, don't tell me anymore. Don't say anymore. So can we touch base a little bit on the president's speech on
Just
Tuesday?
a little bit, yeah, go ahead.
Because I want to tell you one thing. I have never sat through a president's speech and welled up with tears as many times as I did that night. He made it personal.
Yeah.
He made it heartfelt. I appreciated that so much.
Yeah.
And one of the little boys, DJ Daniel is his name.
Yeah.
He's the honorary police officer in many things. He's 13-year-old cancer survivor.
Right.
He's gone through 13 surgeries.
Wow.
They interviewed him. I was so upset for the people that didn't stand for him. And most of them were the Democrats. I'm not just saying Democrats. I'm sure there were some maybe on the other side. I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. But the people that did not stand up to applaud upset me more than anything.
If I was Trump, and maybe he learned it this speech and he can do it next time, I'd make fun of the Democrats so easily. I'd get into my speech and I'd say, you watch, nobody on the Democrat side of the aisle is going to stand. Watch this. I'm going to say America first. And when I do, let's see who stands.
He kind of said that.
America first. And then have the Republicans stand. Then look right at the Democrats and go, really? So not America first is what you're saying.
He kind of said that.
Men should not be in women's sports. Have all the Republicans scream and yell and clap. And then look at them again and go, really? So you want men in women's sports. Okay. And it is such an opportunity because they can't move. They're stuck. And you could literally exploit them moment by moment and say, I don't know, I don't like Iran. I think Iran is a terrible, terrible regime. Have the Republicans scream, wow, you guys are just going to sit there. I mean, he could have gone.
It's great to expose them.
He could have gone off script because they're never going to stand. They can't. They cannot agree with Trump. Here's what I think. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. It's my belief. Remember, I'm just a dumb mechanic in the middle of the desert. What do I know?
And I'm married to him.
They hate Trump more than they love America. It's just that simple. Because you could have a kid with cancer and say, this kid survived cancer. They won't get up.
It just blew my mind. I do have to say one thing. One Democratic senator, I think, I can't remember her name, did stand. She stood and rebelled against. I was just like shocked. I was so proud.
There was a couple times I saw 3 Democrats stand over there. And I hope I hope whoever stands up on the Democratic side turns to their colleagues and goes, "You're fucking idiots." That's what right there in the aisle, right there on the floor. They should look over to the people sitting. Go, "You're fucking idiots. You can't not.
You can't take a stand for everything. They're like little children, like they're having a temper tantrum, and it's driving me freaking insane.
They hate Trump more than they love
drives
America.
me crazy. Well, Trump kind of did what you said.
A little bit, yeah. He did.
You know,
bring it
he
up,
said
but-
he goes, "It's not going to matter what I say tonight."
Right. I'm
It's
just
like-
saying. Yeah, I'm keying
but
off.
calling him out on certain things.
I'm keying him off on what he says.
Yeah.
He should have just stopped, gone off script, and said, "Let's do a little test here," and done a topic by topic by. He could have done 10 in a row. They'd have never stood up, and that would have been the headline the next day. That he could have ended it with, "You guys hate me more than you love America."
You know what's sad is they have no leader for their party,
No.
and they're destroying their party.
Well, and you got to remember, neither did we. The Republicans didn't have a strong leader through Obama. I mean, we didn't have a strong leader
but
for
we
anybody.
weren't disrespectful to
No,
the
but we were in
office.
completely disarray. It was very difficult to get any traction, and then Trump comes along, and that was a whole. I mean, look at all the people that were in the primaries against Trump. Jeb Bush, I guess he's an establishment guy. Just he wasn't super strong. Mitt Romney ran. He was totally weak. He got killed. I mean, the list goes on and on. There was no lightning rod on the Republican side in the future at all, and people were going, "Holy shit, we're done for." And then Trump comes along. So I think everybody who's thinking that there can't be or probably won't be someone on the Democratic side is a little bit foolish. It can happen. There can be another Barack Obama. We don't know. It can happen.
Well, yeah, I'm not. But right now, they are not looking pretty.
No, right now they're a complete disarray. The only difference is that when the Republican Party was in disarray, you know, they had some things going for them. They had some. They had the Tea Party came along for a little while there. There was some other. Even though we didn't have a leader, we had moments where we could cobble together some
Right.
momentum. The difference is right now is Trump is very savvy. You may not like him. You may call him a shyster, but being a street smart shyster, he knows how to argue and win a fight. He's got his boot on their party's throat, and he's not letting up for 4 years. And I'll tell you what. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong with the stuff that happened in the Oval Office with Zelensky, the stuff that happened that night from behind Trump. You tell me that J.D. Vance isn't pissed and going to go after this when it's his turn to run. He's not going to get up there and go, "You want to see a fighter?" I mean, he could barely control himself right now. To get the fuck off the Senate floor.
I noticed when he was in the Oval Office with Zelensky, he almost got into a protective mode with Trump. Did you
Yeah.
notice? He kind of went, "Hang on there, I'll take it." Almost like, "I got this."
Well, there was times he was leaning back in his chair like, "I'm not fucking listening to you."
Yes.
And there was times he was leaning forward like, "The cameras weren't here. I'd already be out of my chair."
Yes.
I'm telling you. And then when
He's a bulldog.
when they threw that guy Green out of the speech,
Oh.
he stood up and goes, "Get the fuck out of here."
Yes, he
Get the fuck
did.
out of here. What are you doing?
He's making himself known, I have to say.
He is not. He's got to be the first vice president who's loud. I mean, your job as vice president. You help win the election. Now just sit there quietly and do nothing for 4 years. He's not. He's not.
Yeah, they
doing
called it kind of like the fluff position. You go to all the little, dinners and all that.
He's in the middle of this shit, man.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I'm
he
just
wants
telling
to be
you.
right there in the thick of it.
It's a lot of fun to watch him because you never know what he's going to say. He's very unpredictable and he's vocal. He's the most vocal out there vice president I've ever seen.
It's really, really
So,
good. Okay,
yeah.
no more
Yeah.
politics.
All
But
right.
I really, really, really thought we were past this.
What?
The shower door was a mess.
I cleaned it up. I didn't leave you drawings.
But you smeared soap and water. What were
I
you
was
hiding
mad.
something
No,
now?
I wasn't hiding it.
But I thought we were past this.
We're not past that.
Now what are you doing?
The quick version is I needed to see how fast electricity would move through a wire. We talked
Wait,
about this a long
what?
time ago. Okay.
Oh,
There's
gosh.
reasons for this.
Explain.
Listen, if you had a hill, let's say a hill in your backyard, not a mountain, a hill like 400, 500, 600 feet, just rolling hills.
Okay.
And you strung Christmas lights in a zigzag pattern really close together. And now let's say you had 7 miles of Christmas lights.
Why would I do that? But okay.
You would do that because you're experimenting, and Einstein would totally approve of this.
Okay, well, you're experimenting.
So I want to know if you could plug in the Christmas lights and the human eye could actually see the lights come on in order, or they would all, boom, all the Christmas lights would turn on at once. How many miles of Christmas lights, that if you could see them, would it take before you could actually see them fall, see the electricity fall like dominoes? See the lights go on. Maybe really quick, like boom, boom, and they're all on. But you could definitely see the electricity going through
And
the wire.
what's the purpose of this?
Well, I don't want to get into that because that's another shower door experiment. But I needed to know that.
Oh my goodness.
Turns out it moves like at thousands and thousands, and it's almost as fast as the speed of light. You're never going to see it.
Okay.
So then I went over and I erased all that, which is why the shower got
This
really
is why
messy.
you don't sleep at night.
And then I started thinking, could you see light travel, a speed of light? And like, okay, well, if I got so far back in the universe and I watched the sun turn on, pong, sun turns on, could I see a beam of light? Let's say a beam of light was totally visible like a laser beam.
Okay.
Could I see that? Let's say God was helping me with my experiment. Said, okay, here's what we're going to do. General, I'm going to stand on the sun. I got a big old laser beam. I'm going to point it at Earth. I'm going to turn it on. So and it's so big and bright and green, you can see it. And I'm way back. I'm way back in space. And I yelled to God, okay, turn it on. And he does. Would the laser beam of light going from the sun to the Earth just appear as a solid beam? Pong, it's on. Or would I see it go because it's so far? And it would just appear like a beam, like bong, it's on. Okay, so then I thought, how far away would I have to be to see it?
Okay.
Then I thought, wait a second now, what if the beam of light went by my face? What if I stood really far away from God and the sun and I told God, shoot the beam of light right by my face, man. Don't hit me. Just make it go. Could I see it coming? I mean, if I'm that far away, if I'm 400 billion light years away, would I eventually see the light coming towards me?
I don't know.
Again, too fast. I can't
That's
see
a
it.
conversation you need to have with your kid.
Or
You and him think a lot alike.
I need to call Neil deGrasse Tyson. I need to call him anyway because I'm still mad that he got Pluto kicked out of the solar system. But I need to call him up and go, hey, man, let's have a conversation about this. So anyway, that's and here's the so I didn't accomplish anything in the shower.
Yeah, I was going to say, what?
Nothing. Didn't get anywhere. Yep, that's your second yawn.
I haven't had a yawn.
Yes, you have. You choked one back earlier during your talking. I watched you do it. That's 2. The over-under's 5. That's 2.
He's so foolish.
Here's what I've determined. Showers. Every shower built in America from now on, whether it's in a trailer, whether it's in an apartment, whether it's in a house, it needs to have built in every shower a fully functional access to YouTube and Google because there's things that you need to know you can't always solve from your memory with a bar of soap. Some of these things you have to do.
They have things for you to take your phone in there.
Now, no, it needs to be a permanent.
You want a screen in there?
I want a screen in there for video. I got Google. I got questions. I got to have that. I got to have.
How long are your showers?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. How long are your showers?
Long enough to solve the mysteries of the world. You know what? You should be thankful that I'm doing this. There's things that are going to get resolved. There's men all over the country that are solving the mysteries of the universe and things that need to be done.
Okay.
And they're happening in the shower because that's where you can concentrate and the steam's around you. Your mind is clear. Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry
good
I
stuff.
asked. I'm
Well,
sorry, people.
I'm just saying that I didn't solve any
Can I
of
have
the...
the last 5 minutes back of my life,
No.
please?
Whatever. So, yeah, that's what and I need my mind sharp. I'll tell you what's helping with
That's sharpening your mind?
Oh, yeah, and if I had a built-in, full-blown screen and computer where I could get information at my fingertips, I could get more stuff done. A lot more stuff done. I'm just telling you, it's practical application 101.
Not going to happen, people.
Standard equipment in all showers from this point on. It's what it should be. It should be built in. The cost just needs to be built in, and now you go.
No.
All right. So speaking of my brain and in my brain at being a peak, I hate it, but I do appreciate the yuck water that you gave me from Dr. McDreamy. If I take it for 5, 6, 7, 8 days in a row, sometimes you double me up. You give me one in the afternoon. At the end of that time, I feel a little more clear. It's a notice. I'm not just saying that. We're not sponsoring anybody.
No, I was going to say, can we say what it is? It's not yuck water.
I don't know
it's
what
called
it is.
Element.
It's gross.
Element. Element.
It's gross.
We are not
It's
sponsored by them, but
no, and it's gross. It's horrible stuff.
I love it. I put it in my water and I drink it all day long.
Yeah, well, it does work.
Yeah, well, you know what? Go move your stuff right there because it's right there.
Oh my God,
Take it.
No, I'm not drinking that.
Yes,
right
you
now.
are.
No, I'm not. I didn't even know you had it out here.
Drink it.
Fuck.
Here he goes.
This is gross.
This is going to be hilarious.
This is
Drink it. You've had
absolutely
worse in your
horrible.
mouth.
What did you just say?
You've had worse in your mouth.
Don't talk like that. I got friends listening in here.
Go. Chug, 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 chug. It's not that bad.
Oh, it's horrible.
No, it's not.
This is the grossest stuff ever. But it's over now. I got it.
Till the next one.
Well, I drink it like this because it gets it out of the way. I cannot drink it like you do it. If you suck on that stupid shit, it's gross all day. At least mine's over with now.
Yeah.
I can take another drink of water and the taste is gone.
I drink it all day because I like it.
Okay, in any other application in your life, if you had to take something totally distasteful and stick it in your mouth, wouldn't you like it done in a few seconds or a minute? Or would you like that distasteful stuff all day?
Maybe I like it.
Ew. Gross. No. Yuck water just needs to be done like a shot of whiskey and over
No,
with.
it's good when you mix it with more water.
No, it isn't. I've
To me,
tasted
it is. I can taste the flavor. You don't even know what flavor that was.
Yeah. Element comes in one flavor.
Yuck.
Yuck.
No, there's flavors.
Well, I took
enjoy it. This
I
is
took
the
it,
only
but
way I
hate
could
it.
drink water. Otherwise, I'm not a.
See, I can drink water, just straight water, and it quenches my thirst. And ever since I was a kid, water. Water.
I was thinking about something as a Gen Xer. I do not recall in high school drinking water. I think I had soda after soda after soda in high school.
All I had was water.
I didn't. I was drinking. I remember leaving campus to go to softball practice and stopping and getting like a big gulp.
We did too, but I also remember we had canteens all the time. We had canteens.
I
and
didn't.
Army belts from the surplus store, and we just threw them in the back seat. And when you're thirsty, we just did it like
I
it was
don't recall getting a
common
glass
practice.
of water. I just don't. Or
I don't-
milk, I guess.
I don't remember you in high school ever wearing an World War II Army belt with a canteen.
No.
I think that was your problem.
No, I was
think if
not
you'd-
going to walk around with a canteen.
I think if you'd have taken those dresses in high school, because you had to wear dresses in high school, if you'd have had an Army belt with a canteen, I think you'd have felt better about life. I really do. That's how I
It
feel.
was a fashion choice. Sorry. It was a fashion choice. I chose not to.
All right. Well, whatever. So that's all that. But yuck water, I drank it.
Okay, you're done.
I'm done. Yeah. See, taste is gone. I'm okay for the rest of the day, and I'm going to
And
be
look,
smarter.
I'm drinking it right now.
Yeah, and you're going to have that yuck in your mouth the rest of the day, and you're not nearly as smart as I am because I took it all first. That means it went right to my brain. I'm going to be smarter.
I even
for
add
15
stuff
minutes.
to that water.
I'm sure you do. Can't just have What is wrong with the way God intended water? Did God mess up water? God needs help with water?
No, I just want flavored water.
Wow. You are such a
And
kid.
I add a little more things in there.
You're
So
a chick. Well, whatever. Yeah, I've added some stuff to my water before, too. It's called ice. That's as far as you go. You're welcome, America and Denmark.
Oh my gosh. You know, we are working on a fantabulous, yes, I'm saying that word, fantabulous
Yeah.
Gen X store that you have been working on.
Oh, it's consuming my days and nights. Yeah.
It's very different. I really like the stuff that's on there.
Are you just saying that, or do you really like some of the angles?
I
I've
do like
taken on
some of the stuff that's on there. I do. I really do. Well, but I want to know, when are you opening it up to the public?
Actually, tonight is Thursday. We're doing this Thursday, March 6th. Is tonight we're doing a Bottom of the Glass Nation show. I'm trying to do a big fun show tonight, especially since we missed the other one because of Chris Cuomo's show. And I wanted to kind of announce it and publicly to all of our viewers and fans. We can have all the moderators put up a link. It's been out there. We've had some people buying some things and beta testing it. It's been really helpful getting feedback. Like Trippy Pineapple bought a hoodie. He goes, the hoodie kind of sucks. The ink isn't real good. It doesn't fit real well. Okay, I pulled it. We're done. We refunded his money. We pulled it. Disney Kid, also on staff. I bet that guy's bought 37 items out of there. And he'll wear them and he'll take pictures and he'll
That's
say,
cool.
This fits, this doesn't, this is good, this isn't. We've had a few people. We had Steve Plum bought a hat and it didn't match the description. So he sent it back, and I've been learning how to do a refund here and there. Been learning how to do some of the behind the scenes stuff, because if we open it up, I don't want it to look all terrible,
Right.
and then run around trying to correct it.
Right.
And then even when I thought I had the store 99% good, you sat down with me yesterday for over an hour. You're like, this is wrong. This is wrong. This description doesn't match the product. I'm like, God damn it.
Hold on.
Went
Hey,
through it
kid.
again.
You can't do that on the keyboard. I can hear it.
So can I. I don't even know why he's in here. He's not allowed to be in here.
It's okay. Anyways, the store, you think you're going to open it tonight?
I'd like to open it tonight to anybody who's on the program, fans and viewers and stuff, and let them go look around. And I'm glad you think I've taken a different tact. I looked online, like let's say T-shirts. Let's say a typical T-shirt, a Star Wars T-shirt says, Han shot first. Han Solo shot first. That's a big controversial thing.
Yes.
But every shirt's the same. Han shot first. Han shot first. Han shot first. And I see how I've learned what fair use is. If you change the image enough to it's not its original and you use something different. I see how they're doing that. I've watched a lot of videos on copyright to make sure you're behaving correctly. I'm trying to stay within those, as much as I can. But so my drawing is Han Solo looking at you and going, yeah, I shot first, so what? Very Han Solo, my man.
Yeah, that
I've
is.
never seen a T-shirt that
Did you
puts
just my man me?
I did my man you.
I am not my man. Don't my man me.
I just my man you.
Yes, you did.
Look, my man.
No. No.
Hold on. So the things that I've taken a lot of the T-shirt ideas and things that I've seen and tried to say, how would I say it? Or how would my generation say it?
Yeah.
How would Gen X look at it?
I do. I like some of those.
So a lot
I
of
really
those
do.
I've tried to change around. It's all stealing ideas. There's no
But
original
I like
ideas.
it because it's not all Gen X talk stuff. It's Generation X things also.
And that's the thing is I put a bunch of stuff out there. It's a Gen X talk store. So there's a Gen X talks a lot of stuff. And then I started going out and putting a lot of generational stuff in there for our generation that would fit. And that's really what I've been concentrating on. Very seldom do I even put up anything Gen X anymore. I do or Gen X talks directly. Although there's a lot of people that would like to have a little something from us too. But I'm trying to, the bulk of the store is going to be Generation X familiar. Something you would give as a gift to someone, a gag gift, or something, a T-shirt that's so fucking cool you'd wear it out to a swap meet or a drag race. You know what I mean?
For somebody to ask you about it or
Right,
something.
yeah.
Conversational.
Well, like there's a picture of Jaws, the shark, going after the woman. That's the cover picture, and I changed it and says, "If people don't know what this is, tell them to keep walking." That's what the title says. It had nothing to do with Jaws.
That was the movie poster.
Right. It was the playbill.
Yeah.
And I did black and white and smoked and screened it. And the only words on there says, if people around you don't know what this is, tell them to keep walking.
That's true.
Because that's funny. That's all a Gen Xer would say.
That
Is
affected all Gen Xers. We never went in the ocean for many, many years.
No. But the idea is it's different than what everybody else is putting out there.
Right.
The idea is that like, I'd like to have a cartoon version of Larry Bird shooting a red, white, and blue basketball of some sort, and the title should say, "Who's playing for second place?"
Oh.
That's all. Stuff like that. Maybe that one's already out there. That's pretty common. But I mean, I want stuff. I don't want anybody to ever see something and say, "Oh, I've seen that on other sites."
Right.
Not one thing. I don't want it to be that way. So I'm working real hard at that. That's what's consuming my time right now.
There's a bug.
What are you doing?
I don't know. There was a bug that was
You're
flying.
drawing circles in the air and then you smacking your microphone.
It was weird. Maybe
Yeah.
it was a spider.
He's attracted to your fucking shitty yuck water is what it is.
You know what?
Yuck.
Leave my...
Yuck. Say it.
Nope.
Yuck.
Leave it alone.
Yuck water.
Leave it alone.
So yeah, tonight should be a fun show. There should be, but we'll start off early and we'll talk about the store. And then during the show, we'll have the moderators put up some links. Just let people go poke around. But the idea is to grow the store every week. Make 3 or 4 new things and put it out there. But don't flood it with stupid shit, man.
It's time to open it up.
That's why it's taken so long, because I didn't want to just put stupid shit out there. I wanted it to really count.
You need to open it up.
I know, it's getting close. Hey, I was talking with Briggs the other day. He asked me what I was giving up for Lent.
Uh-huh.
And I have something really cool. For the entire Lent, I am not going to ask God for any help.
What?
That's good. That's something I do all the time, is ask God for help. Now I'm not going to. I'm giving that up, man. That's a pretty big thing.
Gosh.
What? You don't think asking God for help is a big thing? It's a huge thing.
Oh, you're giving him a break?
And I'm
not going to bother you. There's other people that need you.
You're welcome, God. Yeah, I'm giving that up for the whole time.
Okay.
So he said you're doing some sort of a 40-40 challenge. I'm assuming you've signed on to some book club or some website like you always do.
No, 40 miles in 40 days, a mile a day.
And where'd you come up with this? Don't tell me this was an original idea.
It's not.
Yeah, you were on some book club or some website.
No,
You joined
it is a website. It's a couple that started it, and
Does this
they
have to do with marcyzavala.com?
No,
Okay.
I found it on my own. It's something they do in like little sections. There's one for spring now for Lent, and then there's going to be another one for summer, and they do another one for fall. But it's walking a mile every day for 40 days.
40 days and 40 miles. I should have known that wasn't a marcyzavala.com thing. She said 40 miles in 40 minutes. Got it done in one day. We're done. I'm out. I've checked me out.
I've started that because I need to get back walking, and I figure I could do a mile a day. It's about 20 minutes.
You going to take the dogs? The dog when you walk?
No, I didn't.
Are you going to?
Maybe. We'll see.
That'd be good if you did.
I just kind of stroll. It's a 20-minute mile. That's pretty slow.
I noticed that you got dog harnesses and collars and stuff now. I gave you enough Bobcat mountain lion speeches that they can only fight back when the mountain lions grab them around the neck, and they got leather collars that the mountain lions can't bite
That's
to.
not why I got
That
them.
is exactly why you did it.
No, because
Yeah.
we're going to have to stop on the road, and they're going to have to get out of the truck, and they need to be... I like the harnesses. I don't like the...
And they didn't need beefy, impenetrable harnesses, which you got them. That's right.
Okay,
Just
I'm just going to let you think that.
Just
That's
admit
fine.
to everybody your husband was right and you listened to him. That's right. Thank you very much. Welcome to our side.
Oh, my gosh.
That's right. We're getting ready to fight mountain lions, baby.
All right, let's do our updates. Dayton, go.
I want to, moving to Dayton. Got to move. We rented a house in Minden
Wish I
while
was
we
there
build, so we're
already.
going to be doing that. But we had to rent a place while we build, so we did. We leased it, and we're going to move stuff up. But my truck had to go into the shop for warranty work at GMC, and now they're telling me I may not have it back for 7, 8, 9 days. And we turned it in on the 5th. I may not have it back till the 12th or the 13th. I got to be in Gallup, New Mexico, on the 16th with that truck to meet Dr. Shadowlight to pick up his trailer. He's donating his trailer for rent, for part-time, for borrowing, so we can move stuff, which is great because then we don't have to keep renting U-Hauls.
Right.
We're still going to have to rent a U-Haul liftgate or a Hertz Penske liftgate for my toolboxes. But all the other stuff, back the trailer up. As soon as it's full, run up there and unload it. Back it up again. As soon as it's full, unload it and go. And that'll be great. But it's complicated because now if I don't get my truck back in time, then I got to put that off, which puts it's just cascading the wrong direction. And I know Mary Mathis has been up helping you almost every weekend. Mike Perkins just called this morning. He's coming down this way. He wants to go fix like gate locks and little stuff while I'm working. He goes, there's a ton of stuff he can do.
Cool.
Light switches, gate locks, and little things around here before we sell the house. He's got a back problem. Pretty bad, but he'll go. He helped build the studio. He was working until he couldn't move anymore. So he wants to come down and help with that.
I want to talk to you about going to the dealership with the truck. Briggs and I went the other day and we took it, and talking to them, they were the ones that told me that the truck's going to be there for longer than a week. And I looked at him like, why? He goes, well, because now I want you to back this up or say what happened when you worked at the dealership. They were like, well, each one is specialized in an area, and a mechanic, there's a different mechanic for the electrical. There's another mechanic for brakes. There's another mechanic for oil. I'm like, what? So what happens, he says, is it goes into one mechanic, then it gets pulled out, then you're back in line behind whatever mechanic, and then you go in, and then you're out, and then it's like a constant delay system. How did it work back in your day? One mechanic do everything?
Well, in import shops, like if you work for Toyota, Honda, Mazda, or Nissan, all the dealerships that I worked for that were imports, you were a one-person mechanic. You did everything. One day I was putting in a transmission, the next day I was troubleshooting electrical.
On the same car.
On the same car. Or the same, different cars maybe.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. You could get a list that says replace the timing belt, replace the brakes, and service the transmission. You didn't have to ship it to each guy. When you're an import, this is back in the 90s, but you just did everything. That's where I learned the most, was because you had to be proficient at a dealership level at the newest technology, whatever that was, on every aspect of the car all the time. The domestic dealerships, Ford, Chevy, Chrysler, I've worked there, mainly in Chrysler, but yeah, you were not a line mechanic. You were a line mechanic. You did heavy line. Now, I got to tell you, when I worked at Chrysler up in Oregon for a while, because I had done everything, I kind of did everything. But let's take Ford, for instance. The guys that I know that work at the Ford dealership, they are territorial. Like just the transmission guy. He'll get pissed if he sees anybody in the shop doing a transmission. The brake and front end guy does brake and front end. And he will get mad if someone else does brake and front end. That's what he does. So it sounds like it's still that way. But back in my day, import dealerships, one mechanic, you had to learn everything. You went to every class, every school, on every aspect. In the domestic dealerships, Ford and Chrysler and Chevy, you were supposed to be a line mechanic. You just did transmissions. You just did brakes and front end.
It just, I don't know. It makes more sense to me to have a list and for one mechanic to just go. You have the vehicle in front of you. It's already open. You've got it all. You're already working on it. Why doesn't just one mechanic just stay on the whole thing?
Well, what's going to happen is Monday I'm going to drive down there. I'll wait till the afternoon, till the morning rush settles down. I'm going to drive down there and I'm going to find the service writer and go, what have you got done? Show me. And if they tell me, well, we have to wait for parts, I go, what part are you waiting for? And I'm going to tell them, say, don't think I can't call around other dealerships and warehouses and find this. I know people still to this day that work on Chevy and General Motors in the parts department. I can make a phone call. They can tell me exactly what warehouse has the shit. So let's not bullshit each other. Just fucking tell me what's going on, because you're not keeping this forever. I'm not a typical customer where you're going to keep this shit forever with a story. I'm going to come get it. I'm going to say, finish these 3 jobs, and I'll bring it back when you have a slot. And you're not keeping it for 2 weeks then either.
The service writer already knows you're a mechanic. I already told him. Well, I make sure when I take it that I'm like, my husband.
Just so you know, they hate that shit. They hate when
I don't care.
But it's not just a mechanic. I spent so long at the dealerships. I just walk up and go, I know every bullshit story you're going to tell me.
Exactly.
And I'm telling you that I want my truck back because I got to do some stuff. So you tell me what you got done. I'm going to tell you when I'm coming and getting it, and we'll reschedule for the other stuff. And if it goes out of warranty, which it won't because we got a massive warranty on ours, then you're going to have to wait. But I think the best part about this whole thing is you got a nice rental car.
Oh my God. It's a pullback. You pull it back and let it go.
One of the little spring action ones.
Oh my God.
You roll the car backwards on the linoleum, click, 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 click,
Briggs
and let it go.
I were laughing. Okay, let me explain the first thing I get in the car. I'm getting ready to drive it off the lot.
What is it? Do you know?
I don't. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. It reminds me of one of those little, it looks like a fit, like it just,
all right,
it's so compact it's below compact.
Okay.
Anyways, I get in the car and I'm sitting there in the seat. I was way forward, like I'd be driving like a little old lady. I'm like, gosh, what is wrong? Okay, it's all electrical. The seat raises, the seat goes forward, the seat goes up, everything but the back part of the seat,
the backrest.
Yes, couldn't move it. Didn't move.
Couldn't find that button?
No, and there's lumbar support. That all moved. And I'm like, this is so weird. Briggs gets out of the car, comes on my side, and he goes, I don't see it. He moved all the buttons too. I'm like, fine, I'll just drive home and I'll figure it out later. While I'm driving, I pull up to a stop because I'm so uncomfortable driving.
Yeah.
I reach down. The back seat portion is a lever.
No.
It's not electrical.
So everything on that seat is electric and motor driven except for the tilt.
Yes.
The tilt of the back seat
Was a lever.
Far
And
out.
I finally found it. I was like, this is ridiculous. And then his side was completely manually,
I looked out in the driveway when I saw, I couldn't see what
like
it
a little
was.
bug. You can
I looked
squish it.
on a security camera and saw you pull up, and I thought, I hope they got 2 of those, one for each foot, because they're going to be like roller skates. Is how small I want. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's smaller than a VW Bug.
It's tiny. It's not smaller than a VW Bug.
Yeah,
it is
it's
not.
low.
No, it's not.
It's low and slow, and I don't like it.
It's not smaller than a Bug.
Oh my gosh. Seriously.
There's a lot wrong with you.
Whatever. Anything else we want to talk about?
I don't know. It's up to you.
Do you have a car story?
Yeah, but you're skipping over stuff.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know that they're asking for a kid update, and I've been sitting here waiting because you know they're going to ask.
All right, because there's not much to tell.
Oh, well, then it should be over quickly. Why are you
Jade's
skipping
been
it?
gone out of the house for
A week and a half, 2 weeks, yeah.
But I did call her. I mean, I texted her and said...
She's been in touch. The thing that happened to me that was mad, that I said I would wait to tell everybody, was that she got really behind on a DMV in her car where they were going to tow her car.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
And she was out of money. Because remember, she's been missing work.
No
We've
kidding.
been talking about that for weeks, how she misses work, and now she's upset we're moving. And then all of a sudden she realizes that her car is so out of registration, they're going to tow it. She doesn't have her license because her license went to this other house and she didn't go get it. So she has no proof of her license, although they could look it up. She has no current registration. They're going to tow her car. It was a big mess. And she has no money because she hasn't been working her full schedule. She was missing. There was a day she could have got $40 an hour for double time, and she just didn't go in.
She doesn't realize how rare that is.
No, she didn't go. She goes, I'm tired. I don't want to go do it. And I'm like, $40 an hour, and you won't go in.
I'd go in for $40 an hour.
So 3 days later, she's in a panic, and she has to borrow money from me for DMV. And I screamed and I lectured her about this. And then guess what? After she gets caught up in her DMV, she gets caught up in her stuff, she's going to pay me back. To be fair, she's always paid me back. Every kid that has borrowed money has always paid us back. She leaves for Disneyland. And I lost my shit with her. And I told her, I said, before you tell me, you're not the first kid to ever do this to me. I already know what you're going to say. But Dad, one of my friends is paying for the ticket. I'm riding with so-and-so, so there's no gas. And while I'm down there, one of my friends is paying for my lunch. I get it. You're going to say that. You're going to say that. How do I know you're going to say that? Because other kids have gone to Disneyland or gone to places just like what you're doing. And when I bust their balls about it, they have the same story. This is not original. You're just going to say it because I can't really prove whether it's happening or not. So you're just going to tell it to me. She goes, well, it's true. That's what's happening. I go, I don't care if it is. It looks bad.
I can't imagine somebody paying like $400 for her to go.
No.
That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
There's nobody that's going to... And then they're paying for themselves?
Yeah, I don't...
There's no way.
She's not that important. I don't think she's not that important.
And it's not her boyfriend that's paying for
No,
it.
these are like a group of girls that are going together that went. So I lit into her and I told her, okay, I'm not loaning you money anymore and I'm done with that shit. I don't mind when kids get behind, but she got behind because she was lazy and stupid. Then the 2 days after I loaned her the money, she's going to Disneyland. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I absolutely lost my goddamn mind with this. And then the Briggs update was the same thing.
Wait. I want to talk about Jade. So I texted her because she's been gone for a couple weeks and she has not cleaned out her room. And I texted her and goes, you need to come back here.
Yeah.
You need to come finish doing this room situation. Otherwise, I'm trashing everything. It's
Right.
and I don't know when she's coming back. I
Yeah,
don't know.
As soon as you give her that lecture about get your ass back here and clean out your room, we're moving, she calls me the second she hangs up with you and goes, how long do I really have? How long until I have to be there, Dad?
What'd you tell her?
I said, I don't know. Whatever Mom told you. I don't know what she's got in mind. I don't know. You do whatever she says. Because I know why she's calling. I just don't know what you told her. So I just tell her whatever you said goes. That's it.
Well, I'm going to give her a date. She's got to, because with her, this will drag on
I know.
and on and on.
Yeah. The good
We don't
news
have
is
that.
my soon-to-be son-in-law is coming down tomorrow. And we're going to work on my trailer. We're going to cut some metal, weld some stuff, weld some brackets, repack the bearings. I'm probably going to send Briggs down to get 4 tires for it. I've never put tires in that thing.
Wow, really?
Yeah, in all those years, and put 4 tires and get a spare tire. We got to get a spare rim and tire, and then I'm confident about using our trailer, about do some stuff.
Cool.
It'll work out really well if we can get it done. But it's a full day's work. It's going to be a full day's work.
All right, well, that's
But
cool.
speaking of Briggs, yes, he's moving with us. Yes, he's doing a little better with his attitude. Okay, here's a dumb one. This is how dumb I am as a parent. But when I pound stuff into his head over and over, you're like, can you just fucking do this? So this morning I sit down and we had the gray cable run from the house to the studio for doing Cuomo show. And to make sure that we didn't lose internet. And I should clarify that just to make sure. And we've done really well in here, but that was just a fail safe.
Yeah.
And then last night he unplugs the gray cord and rolls it up and puts it away. And I always tell him, because I sit down here at the computer and I start working and I'm not online. And I'm like, oh, you know what? Hang on before I say that. Hang on. Never mind. I was going to give him a compliment that I'm online and he plugged the cord in, because I always say if you unplug the gray cord and roll it up, please plug in the blue cord. You know I need it. You know it's right there. Just plug it in. You're right there. Just unplug one and plug the other one in. And I got in this morning and I was online. I thought, oh, thank God he did it. Nah, I didn't. I'm on wireless. He still didn't do it. All these years, boy, he almost had a good compliment there. And then I thought, wait a second, I better look. No, he still didn't do it. The only thing, but he's still on the right track. He's still doing better. The only thing that really bothers me, one thing, and this isn't, I say, I will tell you things about raising kids and go, well, I know this is kind of dumb for me to think about as a dad, and I always qualify those things, but not this one. So Briggs came in with a similar mess. He needed DMV stuff done. He needed his car fixed. Brandon fixed his car for thousands of dollars and charged us almost nothing. And we got his DMV work back up. He got his license, his registration. Everything's where it's supposed to be. He never said thank you. Not one time, not ever. He never said thank you, because I was waiting for it. Like the moment I did it, I was kind of leaning into it. Every time I saw him and talked about it, I'd kind of lean into it, like I'm listening. So it's not like he could ever say, oh, yeah, I told, because that's what kids do. I told you. You just didn't hear me.
I think he wants
it.
to rebuttal.
I don't give a shit. I don't care. He did not say it, because that was such a big deal for me to go, I just need him to say it. And he still, to this day, he has not said it. I don't care what he says. I don't care if he comes on and says, oh, I clearly remember, because he always does that. Briggs is famous for saying stuff that he knows you can't disprove, so he just says it. Well, I know for a fact this one, because the moment I did that with him when he was done, I've been waiting for it. I thought that was pretty low for me to go as deep as I did and call in favors and friends and have him just skip through life. Other than that, he's coming around on a lot of other stuff. Not the blue cord. And not to thank you, but a lot of stuff he's doing a lot better on.
That's good.
So it's just this constant uphill battle with Jade and Briggs, because they don't behave like any of the other kids we've raised at all. They're not even close. And I know every kid's different. I know that. And there's some kids that have matured slower and faster. I got that too. But for these two, I thought for sure these two, with the level of intelligence they both have, and after watching their older brothers and sisters fuck up, they're like, wow, I shouldn't behave that way. I know what not to do now. They had examples. To have them, in my mind, so far backwards from where I thought they should be. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know where they should be. Maybe everyone's an individual, but I do have expectations as a father. And some things I just let go, and some things hurt my feelings. One of our daughters from Clovis hurt my feelings the other day.
Why?
Why? Unintentional. Do you mean how?
How?
You're not allowed to offer an excuse when I'm done telling you. Because I've already written down the excuse on a piece of paper that I know you're going to say. She was over here visiting the other day, and I was like, is she still here? Is she still here? And then she left, and she didn't say goodbye. And I was like, oh, because I hate when she leaves without saying goodbye. The other kids, not so much, because they're here often. But when she comes by, it's such a big deal for me to get a hug and for her to at least come say goodbye to me. And she didn't. I texted her. I go, are you still here? She goes, no. I said, you didn't even say goodbye. So,
what'd she say?
She said that she thought that I was on the Cuomo show.
Oh. Yeah.
And I said, no, you left 20 minutes before I even started. And then I said, but that's what your mother's going to say. Your mother's going to say, well, I told her you were busy. Every time one of the kids gets in trouble with me, you jump in with,
I haven't said a word.
because I told you not to, because I prefaced
I'm
it by
not saying anything.
because I told you not to. Otherwise,
Fine.
every time a kid does something, you jump in with some.
Because that's my job.
It is not your job.
Yes, I have to be the mediator
You
between
jump
you
in
and the
and you
kids.
offer an excuse for every kid.
It's my job. It's my job.
Do you realize that for our entire marriage, every time I jumped in and said something on a kid, and I said, you did this wrong, and you jumped in, well, I don't think he heard you because the lawnmower was going. Then the kid goes, yeah, the lawnmower was going,
Yeah,
Dad.
good.
Yeah.
I'm teaching them how to deflect.
No, you're teaching them how to make fucking excuses. You come up and all they do is point and go, see, Mom even heard the lawnmower. They had no idea the lawnmower was going until you said something.
Oh my God.
Hey, this is a typical thing moms do all over the fucking country.
So it's not just me.
No, it's not. And you guys are all wrong when you do it. You cannot.
We are not wrong.
Men are parenting, and you guys are sliding in there, undermining the parenting situation.
Yeah, okay.
With your lawnmowers and on the radio stuff.
Okay.
These lies. It's
All right.
lies.
Could you do you have a car story this week? We could end with a car story. Or a story of a car.
There was speaking of Chrysler, there was a time when airbags, I'm sure this is still the same way, airbags were real touchy when they first came out. A lot of protocols. You had to disconnect the battery, drain the electricity out of the car.
Oh my gosh.
Make sure there's no electricity. You had to wear a static armband. I don't know if they do this anymore.
Why?
Because you couldn't. You ever walked up to touch something and a little spark of electricity, a little static electricity?
Yeah.
Well, cars have that too. There's some cars you can be in the car with your feet on the carpet or you're doing stuff and you touch something and little spark. Not often, but if you're going to touch an airbag, you don't want that spark coming out of your finger hitting the airbag.
Okay.
So we had to buy a strap that went around your wrist and it had a big long cord and you clip it to a ground in the car. So now you're grounded to the car. Now if you take the I don't know if they still do that or not, but when they first came out, you had to. And the way airbags were made back then, I never saw one explode like that. I never saw an airbag explode on its own, through static electricity or someone. But I've heard stories they did. There was in magazines back in the day that, someone was taking out an airbag and it blew up because they just unplugged it. They didn't have the power off. They didn't have the electricity, in the car drained. So then you end up with all these airbags under warranty. You put in the new one, but the old ones are still exploding, ready to go. And you couldn't send them back through the mail. You couldn't even truck them back to where they went. So the factories would tell us, take them out back and discharge them, explode them. So you go back and you wire them to, two wires to it, and you just touch it to a car battery and it blows up. So we would take them out back and we would put one at a time under, take a shopping cart. We had an old metal shopping cart. And you would put the shopping cart upside down over the airbag, and we'd put sandbags on it and spare tires and stuff. No rims, just the rubber parts, and we'd explode these things, and they would still lift these, 3 or 4 feet in the air.
Oh, you guys thought that was great.
It was
Blowing
great,
shit up.
especially when it was, the dealership would say, well, put yourself down for 2 hours. You can flag 2 hours of pay and go out back and blow up airbags. Yeah. So I was always volunteering for that.
Of course you were.
So
blow shit up.
It was blowing shit up. So then one day, and this was at a dealership, Thomas Sales and Service in Central Oregon. And one guy that I was blowing him up, I can't remember his name right now. Anyway, he saved one back. And I go, what are you doing? He goes, I'm going to blow one up in a trash can over by Bill. And,
Oh, my
and I said, what? And he goes, well, I'm going to use a metal trash can so it doesn't explode out. I'm going to fill it with like paper. So it just blows papers up in the air. I said, well, don't do it near him. And he goes, no, I'm not going to do it near him. So he drills 2 holes in this trash can. He puts the airbag in there. He runs 2 wires through the trash can. And he fills it up with a bunch of just papers, just a bunch of paper products.
I don't know, this doesn't sound good.
I thought it was sketchy too, but now I really wanted to see it because I wasn't going to get in trouble. And so he got it ready to be hooked up to the battery. He's got like one side hooked up to the battery, but the other side's he's got in his hand. It's pretty far away. He's got it taped away so it can't accidentally hit the battery because Bill isn't walking where Bill is supposed to be walking. He's got this trash can. He got this metal trash can. It's in kind of a corner. It's not near anybody. No one's going to stick
That's going
there.
to make a loud noise, right?
Huge. Oh, my God.
Especially in a metal trash can.
And
Okay.
inside the garage of the dealership.
Okay.
So it goes for like 20 minutes and he can't get Bill to walk near it. So he finally forgets and just goes, all right, I'm just going to disconnect everything. So he goes to the bathroom or something and comes back. And right as he leaves, he moved the wires away so they wouldn't be on the battery.
Okay.
As he leaves, the janitor grabs the trash can to dump it, turns it upside down, and it pulled the wires out. And I guess the static electricity ignited the airbag because it went off.
Oh my God.
And that trash can exploded right out of the guy's hands. It was upside down, so it shot straight up in the air. It hit a heater, an oil heater on the ceiling, and it broke loose and fell and landed right on the service manager's wife's car.
Oh no.
So nobody knows what. There's an explosion, and you're thinking, okay, did an engine explode?
Right.
Did a battery explode? Somebody comes running over, and the janitor who can't hear, he goes, I was just dumping the trash. And they're like, what happened? He goes, the trash can exploded. And they're like, well, how would the trash can explode?
Yeah.
How would the trash can explode? Because nobody would put a battery in a trash bag. What are you talking about? Well, really quickly, there's a big old fucking airbag, and the dust, the little powder that comes off of airbags is still floating in the air. We all know what that smell is. And the dude who did it comes running out of the bathroom going, oh, shit. And he goes to me, what happened? Did you set it off? I go, I did not set it off. I go, you left. And the next thing I know, the janitor's dumping it, and before I could even scream anything.
Gosh.
So then everything stops in the dealership. Everybody comes running out, and the service manager sees. All he does is he hears an explosion. He sees this big heater that was mounted up on the ceiling on his wife's car. He thinks that's all he heard. He thinks the heater fell.
Okay.
And landed. He goes, wow. Anybody hurt? Nobody's hurt. Well, I'm glad when that heater fell, I'm glad nobody got hurt. I guess we better go check out the mountings on the other heaters. For like the first 2 hours, he had no idea. Everyone was just quiet. He thought the noise he heard, the explosion, was just the heater falling and hitting his wife's car.
Okay.
Until someone said, no. There was a trash can that shot up in the air like a rocket, hit the heater, and then he went, what? Yeah, there was the guy got fired immediately.
No kidding.
By the end of the day, he was rolling his toolbox out to his truck. He's fucking done.
Why would you even do that in that?
And yeah, they were going to fire me, and I had to completely say I had no idea, because if I'd have said, well, I knew what he was doing, but I told him not to, wouldn't have been good enough. I'm like, oh, what the fuck are you talking about? I blew up all the airbags out there. Now, if this guy snuck one on his own, I don't have anything to do with that. But
Gotcha.
Yeah, nobody got hurt, luckily. But man, it was it's a trash can to the heater to the front of the car.
Man.
Stuff you hear at the dealership. That's one of the bigger pranks at a dealership, and it went wrong. But dealership pranks are common. That is a very common thing at dealerships, just so you know.
I wonder how often nowadays.
I don't know. We went through that whole woke thing where HR was involved in writing everybody up for everything. There isn't a mechanic in my day in the 80s and 90s and 2000s that could last a month at a dealership behaving the way we did back then. You couldn't do it. The things we said and the things we did that were just commonplace, there's no way. You get written up 3 times in the first week, and then the second week you're fired.
You're fired.
You couldn't do it. You could not exist in that world anymore. So I don't know. I'm glad that I was part of it when I was part of it. It was fun to do.
Good. I'm glad. I think we're done, babe.
How long do you think we've been on?
Feels long. Hour 25?
Hour 20. Did you ever see if we could? Did anybody report in that they could hear us?
Yes. Everybody's fine.
Okay, so
I'm not allowed to look at my phone.
Wow,
I'm not allowed to look down.
We're gonna go full circle on that, huh?
Yes, we are.
I wouldn't mind if you were doing it on something for the show, but then
I do.
But then every time you look down, you go, "Oh, I'm just doing it for the show. I'm looking for the show."
Well, usually on my phone, I'm reading about staff. On my computer, I have Discord up, and people interact on Discord and let us know. A broadcast trained professional would know that information and have it on their computer.
You're over there on Amazon. You're looking at Amazon
I'm not
orders.
on Amazon.
You're ordering cuticle scissors and hope.
Don't start, because I may go in the house right now and put a whole big shitload of stuff in my Amazon cart.
Go ahead. I know how to hit delete.
I know. No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You have no idea
Yeah.
once it's ordered how to delete it.
Amazon.
After it's ordered, you don't know how to delete it.
I might not know,
No,
but
exactly.
Amazon has a button that I learned early on when you put stuff in the cart called Save for Later.
And not after I purchase it, it won't be.
I'm starting not to like you.
Yep.
Anyway, that's the show for today. March 6th is Thursday, 10 o'clock Los Angeles time is when it started. It should, if everything goes as planned, it should drop tomorrow morning for you guys. You guys listening to this on the replay, it's available Friday mornings at 12:02 a.m. And then the video version is available Sunday. And
Why
yes,
would anybody want to watch us?
I don't know. They do though. If we have a regular show, can get anywhere around 1,000 people watching. But if we have a really funny show that people share, you can get 3,000 or 4,000 views on that.
Wow, really?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
not a huge market, a huge audience. We're no Joe Rogan, but we have an audience. We do have people. They
That's
do
cool.
share it, and it does grow slowly. And as long as people keep listening to what's going on, I think the stories are going to become much more interesting as the traveling and trailers and stuff start going, because all the stuff that we're going to be finding in the garage and in the house, the little trinkets that have been tucked away forever.
Yeah.
The stories that are going to connect everybody are going to come out. That's going to be something.
All right.
So now you know what I know. All right. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Oh, good night, Gracie.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Not sure where you're listening in from around the planet, AM, FM, Sirius XM, or perhaps you tuned in on the Armed Service Radio Network. Remember two things in life. Number one, wherever you go, there you are. And number two, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. And I'm out.